Hi parents, it's Miss G. The kids had asked that I send a little video helping with homework tonight. I will say it is a pretty tricky concept and it's okay if they're a little shaky on it. Once again, if there were any problems that just hit that frustration level, go ahead and make me a little note and I will go ahead and give them full credit and we'll address that tomorrow. That's absolutely fine. But just so you have a better idea of what we're practicing in this lesson, we are going over mental math strategies, which teach the kids how to rearrange the numbers in order to find easier problems that we can solve. So if you notice up here in the example, they did 6 times 297. What they suggested was thinking, oh, well, 297 is pretty close to 300. It's just 3 less. So what we could do is say it is 6 times 300 minus 3. Now we've briefly talked about the distributive property with the kids, so they would know that that's 6 times 300 minus the 6 times the 3. They may not be familiar with the minus sign. They're used to it with the plus sign, so bear with them there. Once you do that, 6 times 300, basic facts, 6 times 3, that's 18. 100 times more, 100 times more, minus 6 times 3, which is 18. And that's how they got their final product using mental math. I'm going to do 3 problems from tonight's homework that you could use as freebies. You can show the kiddos, and if you, like I said, they get to that frustration level, write me a note. I'm fine with that. It is a tricky concept. So I'll start off with one of the easier ones first. Number 6, it talks about one strategy is to use the commutative property, which says that if you have a series of factors that are being multiplied, the order does not matter. The product will still be the same. So I could rearrange this order into problems that are easier for me to read mentally. I could take this 5 and bump it up to the front and rewrite it as 5 times 20 times 72. Even though it's in a different order, it will still give me the same product. Now that I have written it this way, I can see 5 times 20. Well, I've been practicing multiplying by multiples of 10. So 5 times 2 is 10, but this is 10 times greater, so this is 10 times greater. So 5 times 20 is 100. Now multiply that by 72. 100 times 72 I can do in my head. That is 7,200. Like I said, that might have been one of the easier ones. Another strategy we talked about was halving and doubling. If you see 50 times 28, that's really difficult to do in our head, but I know that 50, if I double that, I'm going to get 100. And I could multiply 100 times 28, and I know that I would get 2,800. But since I doubled my work to find an easier problem with a friendly number, I now have to halve it to go reverse. So half of 2,800 would be 1,400. I know these concepts are crazy. They're just teaching them to the kids. Some kids love it and thrive off these mental math strategies. Some kids hate it. I don't blame these kids for finding it that it's difficult. I'll do another one from tonight's homework. Number 3, another strategy they talked about was using expanded form. This is probably their favorite. I know that 8 times 604 is really difficult, but instead I could rewrite it as 8 times 604 in expanded form. That's basically 600 plus 4. And using what I know about distributive property, I know that that is 8 times 600 plus 8 times 4. Using basic facts, I see 8 times 6 is 48. 100 times more, 100 times more, plus 8 times 4, which is 32. I can combine these partial products together and I get 4,832. Another strategy we could do here on number 5 could be the same one that they used in the sample, the subtraction problem. 199, that's awfully close to 200. So 9 times 199 is the same thing as 200 minus 1. Using distributive property, I could rewrite this as 9 times 200 minus, because it's a minus sign up here, 9 times 1. 9 times 2, basic fact, is 18. 100 times more, 100 times more, minus 9 times 1, which is 9. 1800 minus 9 is going to be 1791. So hopefully that gives you a better idea. This one right here is super tricky. It says to use halving and doubling again, which you could, boost this up to 50. You could try 32 times 50, and then they could break it apart. But if you want to skip that one, by all means, skip that one. Same thing up here. 8 times 25 times 23. We've been working on the basic fact of 4 times 25. The kids have been practicing 4 times 25 is 100. And since this is 8 times 25, which is twice as much as 4, this would be 200 times 23. And that's kind of hard to read right here. So I know that I could use the commutative property again, switch up that order. I could do 23 times 200. I could try the basic fact here, 23 times 2. Although that's not a basic fact, it is easier to multiply. And I could say that is 46, and then 100 times more, and do 100 here. Once again, don't hate me. I am so sorry. I know that this is hard, but hopefully this gave you a little bit of help with how to teach the kids to rearrange the numbers in a different way to find friendly numbers. And I am absolutely okay if you need to write me a note. You can just tell me, Miss G, this is really hard. You can give a couple of these problems a try, maybe just the ones we did in the video. But I completely understand. Mental math was a difficult strategy, but we just want to, teach these kids other ways to solve and attack the problem by teaching them to use the tools in their tool belt. So hopefully this helps, and I will address any concerns that they have tomorrow in class. Thank you. Good luck.